News this morning. A lawsuit has been filed against UPS and other companies after last week's deadly plane crash killed 13 people.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning. Happy Monday to you, Mountain family. I'm Amelia Lee here with you on this November 10th. It's just about 5 o'clock this morning, and we're ready for a check of our weather with meteorologist Megan Dusma. And Megan, we've got that cold front coming in. What else is going on for our Monday?
Yeah, we're seeing snow already this morning, and more snow is on the way. That's why we're under a winter weather advisory for almost all of the WYMT viewing area. I say almost because everyone is under it, with the exception of Claiborne County, Tennessee. Now, this is set to expire as we're heading into the late evening hours, as we'll continue to see snow from this morning all the way up until later today. In fact, as we look at that Whitesburg camera at Pine Mountain, already starting to see some accumulation on the ground. Take a look at those roads, though. It's starting to look a little bit icy here on this camera. Now, a lot of eastern Kentucky is on the calmer side as we're starting off the morning. It's not until we head into the afternoon that some of those heavier snow showers do begin into our region. Here's a look at what we're seeing on that live pinpoint Doppler radar. Just a little bit of snow right now from portions of Rockcastle County down to Lee County, Virginia. And again, more snow is on the way as we're heading throughout the day. One thing that you need to be aware of, though, snow or no snow as you're heading out the door, are those very cold temperatures. Most folks are in the upper 20s and some folks in the low 30s. Either way, it is below freezing. You'll need to bundle up and wear those layers all day long, as high temperatures will only be sitting in the low 30s for today. It is going to be cold. Amelia.
Thanks, Megan. UPS pilots have superior training, and it's likely the crew Tuesday had few options once things went tragically wrong with the UPS plane in Louisville. That's according to a retired UPS pilot who flew for many years. Bill Kite says the plane that crashed Tuesday likely became unflyable. WYMT's buddy Phil Pendleton spoke to him.
I've flown all over the Atlantic, all over the Pacific.
Bill Kite flew for UPS from August 1989 to July 2020. He was a 767 captain.
And I got to fly big, fast jet airplanes all over the world.
Kite says he believes the plane that crashed Tuesday suffered something which simply made it unable to fly.
There was an uncontained failure of the fan disc on the #1 or the left engine that caused it to separate from the airframe.
And Kite tells me he believes what happened Tuesday was not the result of a lack of training. He says he believes that UPS pilots have some of the best training in the world.
There was nothing that crew, none of their training prepared them for what they experienced.
He says had just the engine separated, the airplane could have flown with an engine separation procedure, but something else happened.
It separated, and then there were subsequent failures related to the separation of the engine.
And just what those other failures were should come the result of the extensive NTSB investigation. In Louisville, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Kite says the crew was very well trained, and he's certain they did all they could to fly it to the very end. 3 people on the plane and at least 10 people on the ground were killed. A Louisville resident and several businesses have filed a federal lawsuit against UPS and other companies after last week's plane crash. The suit claims that the crash and fallout was the result of negligence and wanton conduct by UPS as well as Boeing, which made the plane, and General Electric Company, which made the engine that fell off the plane. The Lexington Herald later reports that the plaintiffs are asking for unspecified damages and relief. As a deal to end the government shutdown is taking shape in Washington, this weekend saw chaos at many of the nation's airports with canceled and delayed flights. According to FlightAware, on Sunday, more than 2,900 flights were canceled and more than 10,000 were delayed. Ripple effects after the FAA ordered flight cuts at dozens of the nation's busiest airports. TSA agents and air traffic controllers are still being asked to work without pay, and some are calling out sick or quitting. Staffing shortages are impacting operations in many hubs.
Our best case scenario is that we'll be able to leave here in 2 hours.
The United States of America cannot pay its people. That's shameful.
If the shutdown continues, the chaos could get worse. The FAA's 4% reduction is expected to rise to 6% Tuesday and 10% by Friday. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy is warning about what could happen by Thanksgiving. Well, it is day 41 of the government shutdown, but there's light at the end of the tunnel after the Senate approved an initial step that could end the impasse later this week. CBS's Bradley Blackburn has more on this rare weekend session from New York.
The motion upon reconsideration is agreed to.
The Senate approved a first step to push through legislation that could end the longest government shutdown in U.S. history after a group of mostly moderate Democrats made a deal with Republicans. The Senate and House still need to approve the full measure.
All of us, Republicans and Democrats, who support this bill know that the time to act is now.
Democrats had demanded any funding package include expiring health care subsidies. The deal grants them a vote next month on extending the tax credits.
This was the only deal on the table. It was our best chance to reopen the government.
The agreement comes after the Supreme Court issued an emergency order late Friday, halting the payout of full SNAP benefits. 42 million Americans used the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program to buy food. There were long lines over the weekend in Southern California at a distribution site for the LA Regional Food Bank, and major concerns for those in need in the Boston area.
At the end of the day, they are people who are seniors and veterans and families with children and working families that really are just looking for some answers.
Adding to the shutdown chaos, air travelers are coping with massive disruptions as the FAA ordered airlines to cut flights at the nation's busiest airports.
We need to figure it out as a country. Get it together.
A compromise was reached in this case, but it's not a done deal just yet. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Democrats had voted no 14 times to reopen the government until this deal was negotiated. If approved, it would also reverse the layoffs of government employees during the shutdown. Congressman Hal Rogers, the dean of the House, has filed for re-election. Rogers has served the 5th Congressional District since 1981, which includes most of southern and eastern Kentucky. He's already secured the endorsement of President Donald Trump. Rogers is 87 years old and is the longest serving member of Congress from Kentucky. Congressman Andy Barr made his bid for U.S. Senate official Friday. He became the first candidate to formally file in the race for Senator Mitch McConnell's seat. During his filing, Congressman Barr learned that he's received Congressman Hal Rogers' endorsement. It's the first endorsement Rogers has given in a primary race since Kentucky's 1991 gubernatorial election. Last week, Governor Andy Beshear announced new steps to prevent the sale of or possession of an addictive substance. 7-hydroxy or 7-OH is an addictive form of kratom that the administration says is dangerous. Kratom and its byproducts are currently available over the counter in capsules, powders, and small shots like you'd see in a 5-hour energy bottle. The product is said to act similarly to opioids, which is why the Beshear administration wants to classify it as a Schedule I drug, joining others like heroin and fentanyl.
It affects your body kind of like an opiate. If you use like lower dose amounts of it, it kind of acts as a stimulant. But if you take the higher doses of it, your body reacts to it like it would like painkillers or fentanyl or heroin or something along those lines.
The State Cabinet for Health and Family Services says that by classifying kratom and its byproducts like 7-OH as Schedule I, law enforcement could take them off of retail shelves across the Commonwealth. Well, thank you so much for getting your day started with us on Mountain News this morning at 5:08. Coming up on this week's Does It Work, we introduce you to a tool that transforms writing and conversing into more than 100 different languages.
And we are talking snow chances for your Monday and cold temperatures as you're heading through the next 24 hours.